You're watching ESPN's V-Week, presented by Principal.
And you're watching the ACC on ESPN. Saturday night, Raleigh, North Carolina, and a sold-out crowd to see the potential #1 pick in the draft next year. And one of the game's best freshmen, Darren Peterson of Kansas, against the preseason player of the year of the ACC, Darian Williams of NC State. Another great non-conference matchup. Light up Raleigh towels, a stripe out, a wonderful atmosphere here at the Lenovo Center for the Jayhawks and the Wolfpack. And we are so thrilled to continue this great day of college basketball. Kevin Brown, Jay Williams, non-conference slate has been awesome this year. NC State needs a big non-conference win, and they've got a chance to get one here.
KB, I've been doing college basketball for 18 years. I think this might be the best non-conference slate I've seen in my 18 years. 41 ranked matchups before January, the most in the AP poll since it's existed. And tonight we get a chance to see one of the most special players we have in the game of college basketball. Darren Peterson reminds me very much of Brandon Roy. He can impact the game in a variety of ways on the defensive end. Also with his elite passing, his ability to kick the ball ahead. When you think about the way he plays, silky smooth, can get to the free throw line, can attack the rim downhill. There's no doubt about it. He has to be a special player. Bill Self says he's the most special recruit he's had in the history of the program.
And he missed 7 games a month due to this nagging hamstring injury. He returned last Saturday against Mizzou. Bill Self said he wasn't great. He still scored 17. He's averaging 20 a game. On the other side, Darian Williams, who almost was a Kansas Jayhawk. They recruited him hard out of the portal, but he goes to NC State, and first-year head coach Will Wade. Kansas and NC State are here. If you're looking for the end of Memphis-Louisville, that game is on ESPN News. This game is underway. Clarence Armstrong threw it up along with Roger Ayers and Tony Padilla, and the Wolfpack in front of this packed house in Raleigh has the first possession. They go to Quadir Copeland, their 6'6" point guard for an NC State team that has played a very difficult non-conference schedule, doesn't have that signature win yet. And Van Allen Lubin, who's been red hot, misses the first shot. Here's the Jayhawks starting 5. Peterson for his 4th game with 2 transfers, and Trey White and Melvin Council Jr. The bigs have been very good. The freshman Tiller and the sophomore Flory Badunga.
Now they're going to force Peterson to read and react. North Carolina State is going to blitz, double every ball screen that Peterson is involved in.
Melvin Council Jr. transferred from St. Bonaventure. They'll be okay if he shoots it and not Peterson. And he misses the first one as Kansas commits the game's first foul.
That's in the scouting report. When you think about the way he plays, Council shoots around 35% from the field. They're going to go under every ball screen. They're going to contest late. Him taking a jumper and not getting to the rim is a win for NC State.
Undersized NC State team, but boy, can they shoot it. Best three-point shooting team of the ACC. And Kansas has already picked up fouls on Badunga and Peterson. Maybe their 2 best players in the first minute and second.
Hey, look, this is gamesmanship. That was not a foul, in my opinion, but Copeland with a great job of wrapping his leg around it, getting the refs to buy in. And what do you do to the best offensive player in the opposing team? You attack them defensively.
Copeland over to Trey Holloman. Paul McNeil, Copeland, and Holloman, all big-time shooters this year. Williams and the North Carolina transfer Lubin. Here is Darian Williams, an early paint touch. That is a good decision and a great sign if you're NC State. It has been a rough 4-game stretch for Williams, held under double figures in the last 2. The Wolfpack make it a point to get him an early look and an early basket. Now Peterson driving on Williams, kicks it for 3, in and out for Trey White. NC State, a top 20 offense in the country so far, scoring at just under 89 points per game against an elite Kansas defense. Williams way off the mark for 3, and it's off of Lubin.
If you're a North Carolina State fan, you love the fact that D. Will is being aggressive early, only averaging 11 points per game over his last 6. And at times, I am baffled, KB, when you see game logs where he attempts 8, 9, or 10 shots per game. That should be 16, 17, 18 shot attempts per game for the preseason ACC Player of the Year.
And last year, he elevated his game against Kansas. Gets the rebound off the missed three by White. Williams, Copeland, behind the back. McNeil, no good from three. Now here is Darren Peterson, the 6'6" freshman out of Canton, Ohio. Sets up a three for Council, who's just 6 for 28 from out there, but has a big look early.
Got a chance to talk to Bill Self before the game about Council. And he was like, hey, one of the things I love about him is sometimes he's just lost in the rhythm and the flow of the game. His decision-making could be better, but I love the fact that he competes every possession.
Williams swings it, Holloman, in and out. And Peterson taps the rebound to Williams. Back inside to Lubin. Good hands by Peterson, and then a foul. Oh, this is a big one if it's on Badunga. And it is the second on Kansas's big man in the first 2:54. Well, that's good news for Will Wade, who said last week that this has been what you would call a hostile takeover after the loss to Auburn. He felt like his team wasn't playing as hard, wasn't defending as hard as it needed to. So he has kind of put the accelerator down, and they played very well in the win over Liberty Wednesday, giving up just 45 points. And you're going to be in a big advantageous position now because Badunga, 15-point per game, 9 rebound a game player for Kansas, Jay, is on the bench early.
When you think about NC State, obviously they're talented. There's no doubt about their talent. But talent doesn't always translate into chemistry and playing for one another. And Will Wade has challenged that thesis multiple times. They're coming off their best defensive performance against Liberty in their last game, in which they absolutely demolished them defensively.
Council feeling himself on another open look from three. Here's Williams for the Wolfpack. Pull up three. No good. He'll grab his own rebound, drive it, leave it short. Williams has been aggressive. He's taken 4 shots as Council tries to go coast to coast. And Tony Padilla's got a foul in from behind. It was Copeland on the body, not McNeil with the block. And Bill Self's team will take free throws. The winningest coach in Kansas history.
Say it again.
The winningest coach in Kansas history.
Surprised you listened to me.
There's 1 per game, and I got it out of the way early. Why do you want me to say it again?
I just don't think there's a lot of coaches better than Bill Self in this game of basketball. And when you win as many championships as he's won, Big 12 titles, regular season titles, Big 12 tournaments, the way he imprints himself on his teams. At times are there teams that are offensively challenged or defensively challenged? Yes. But the success is written. He is one of the best to ever do it in the game of college basketball.
And his team's had to do it this year without Darren Peterson for 7 of the 10 games. But he feels like that may help in the long run, the way they played defensively without him. As McNeil bricks a 3. NC State has started 0 for 5 from 3. Will Wade's team, the best 3-point shooting team in the ACC. Kansas has the 5th best 3-point defense nationally. State's missed a couple of open looks. Peterson yet to shoot it until now. That's a quick release and well off the mark. Lubin will let it bounce out of bounds.
Well, if they're blitzing Peterson on everything, he has to give it up and give it back to a quick force the defense to rotate.
4-4 early. Foul trouble for Kansas's Badunga here in Raleigh. Darren Peterson, the Naismith High School Player of the Year, committed to Kansas November 1st last season. 11 months to the day, he broke out in an exhibition game. Kansas beat Louisville on the road, had 20 in his first 2 regular season games, then suffered a hamstring strain, missed 7 games, and returned last Saturday to score 17 against Missouri. Bill Self, again, a winningest coach in the history of Kansas, Hall of Famer, called Darren Peterson a generational talent, but now Jay, he's having to play after missing a month with a hamstring injury.
Well, I think it's a combination of Donovan Mitchell and Brandon Roy, who used to play for the Portland Trailblazers, and hasn't played basketball essentially in a month. And I think in that Missouri game, even though they won and he played decently in 23 minutes for 17 points, I think a lot of his teammates deferred to him. But I think this is a huge opportunity for Kansas to continue to grow in what they do on the offensive side. If he can continue to find his rhythm with the way other players have played, it allows them to reach a higher ceiling ultimately.
Off the Williams miss, here's one of those players who's really stepped up, Trey White, in Peterson's absence. White, second in scoring, rebounding, and assisting. Leads Kansas in three-point and free throw shooting. And he's got the ball right now, the transfer from Louisville and Illinois and USC. Damari McDowell off the bench into the corner. A lot of threes from Council early, who's just a 19% shooter. Copeland almost a little too hot to handle, but Holloman strokes it the first three for the Wolfpack. Trey Holloman, a 52% three-point shooter in the early going. Here's Peterson, guarded by the 6'6" Copeland. 6'6" lead guards. Lubin in the switch. White, Council once again. Boy, they are giving him all kinds of space, and Council's hit 2 from 3.
Well, they said since he was a poor three-point shooter, he was going to have to prove it from the outside.
Copeland motors into the paint. Layup won't go, and here's Peterson off his second rebound.
Yep, got the trail. Give it back.
He does. Council's 5th three-point attempt of the game is in and out. Kansas has taken 8 shots. Council's taken 5.
Well, you could take the shot, but also you could take a couple of dribbles in and attack the rim.
There's Lubin, and that will swirl home.
I can't tell you how big it is for Van Allen Lubin that Flory Badinga is out with 2 fouls. Flory Badinga averaging 2.5 blocks per game, 6th in the nation.
McDowell not close on a 3. That is, we'll see. Clarence Armstrong and Roger Ayers say it's going to stay with Kansas. Coming up next, it's not just Indiana and Kentucky. It's Dickie V and Sir Charles, and our friend Dave O'Brien, who will be getting hazard pay tonight. This was a lifelong dream for Charles Barkley. He's talked about this for a while, wanted to call a game with Dickie V. They're going to make it happen this year. Indiana, Kentucky, the main event following our game. You were with Dick last week at Kentucky, and that was just the warm-up for what will be one of the wildest shows in television this year.
It will be a full-on podcast while there's a basketball game going on at the same time, which I'm all for.
It's going to be awesome, baby. Peterson, no, he is 0 for 2.
But you love the level of physicality NC State is applying to Darren Peterson. He can't get to any of his spots on the floor, and they are blitzing him on every action, making him make reads and being a passer, not a shooter.
Matt Abel, a terrific freshman. This is a 3. Abel, freshman out of Baltimore, coming off a good game in their blowout of Liberty. In the paint, here's a touch for Bryson Tiller. That's too deep. Abel with the rebound.
I don't know if Kansas has taken a shot inside the paint.
Lubin stuffs it inside of Tiller, leading to a Bill Self timeout. NC State has been the more ferocious team in this opening salvo. They blue and red Bill Self, Jay, in that Kansas huddle after he called timeout.
Well, Kansas is known for having one of the best perimeter defenses in the nation, and that's just a lack of sense of urgency, not getting back in defensive transition. And Trey Holloman with one heck of a pass. You talk about a guy that is the ultimate competitor for this NC State team, and also a guy that you think about how he competed, helped Michigan State to win the Big Ten by 3 games, made the Elite 8 last season. Just a progression with the Sparties from where he started to where he is now for the Wolfpack.
Marco Jackson on the floor for Kansas. No Peterson right now, but they're used to that. White leans in. This is one thing that NC State emphasized shoot around. Do not let Trey White get you into foul trouble, and you could see a little veteran savviness to force the foul.
Well, he's telling his players, you got to be smart. They emphasized multiple times today, do not stick your hand in the cookie jar. Trey White is so good at leaning his body into yours and creating contact. Keep your hands outside and wide, keep it parallel from him, and shy away from the contact, but they got caught.
Peterson
That
working
hamstring,
on that
man.
right hamstring. How long does it take to feel 100% or feel close to it after a hamstring strain?
I mean, it took me almost the whole year. Honestly, it's something that lingers. I went through it my rookie year in the NBA. Obviously, playing 82 games is different than playing 36 or 40. But still, it's something that never really goes away. You have to treat it, and the only thing that truly heals it is time and therapy.
Allen Breed in the corner, pushes a 3 too strong.
Just let me say this, KB. All the people at home that think that this kid doesn't want to play basketball, when you think about Darren Peterson, they don't know what they're talking about. He wants to compete. He wants to be on the court. But like anybody, you got to make smart decisions around your future, and you don't want to tear something.
Holloman short out of 3. Look, you understand why people see a potential #1 pick miss a month. They're not sure what the timeline is, and people start to ask questions. Bill Self has emphasized, as there's a foul on me. He's emphasized it in public. He's emphasized it in private. Like, this kid is doing everything he can. He's getting as many treatment sessions as he can per day. He wants to play. He was also sick last week. He wants to play badly. This is, they don't think at Kansas at all, a situation where a kid sees guaranteed money in the NBA and says, I'm going to shut it down. They believe Darren Peterson's going to be a huge part of the rest of the year. He just has to get healthy.
Let me tell you the mindset of a kid who would shut it down. He wouldn't be on the road trips with his team when he wasn't playing, cheering on his teammates from the sideline. Like, he is engaged. He is a teammate. And I've seen a lot of kids who are not engaged or players who don't want anything to do with it because it's all about the money. That's not Darren Peterson.
His Jayhawks down 2 at the 12-minute timeout here in Raleigh. The legendary Jim Valvano, NC State National Championship coach. It's V Week here at ESPN. Each year we honor Jim Valvano by supporting the V Foundation for Cancer Research. And nowhere is Jim Valvano idolized like he is in the halls here. Lenovo Center, of course, Reynolds Coliseum down the road. Jim Valvano, ACC, NCAA championships. And in his honor, you can go to v.org/donate. Join the fight. Principal Foundation this year, making sure you can double your impact. They're matching up to $1 million in donations during V Week. And again, that was the link, v.org/donate. Holloman short out of 3.
I don't know why Matt Abel flared out for a 3. He had an easy rim run for a dunk.
NC State now 1 for 10 from 3 and winning. Trey White, he misses a 3. Paul Mbia can't get the rebound.
Kansas is now 2 of 15 from the field, and 11 of the 15 shots are threes. They have 1 shot. Let me say it again louder. 1 shot in the paint. At some point, you have to start attacking those gaps. Get to the free throw line. See the ball go in.
Is it something NC State's doing, or are they just not showing the aggression they should be showing?
Well, they're recovering late to Melvin Council. They want him to shoot that. That's playing into what they want.
Here's a look in the paint, and Trey White scores it.
You know, that's the thing for Kansas. Sometimes offensively, they get stuck. Guys like Melvin Council, Darren Peterson, Trey White are the guys that have to put their head down and find a way to attack to get to the rim.
Copeland and Lubin at the scores table for NC State. Here's Holloman. Allen Breed, 6-year player, came over from McNeese with Will Wade, and he gets fouled on the drive. 2-shot foul coming.
You're gonna watch Trey White. That's a great job. Defenses kind of overcommit one way and drives against the grain, finding a way to finish strong at the rim. A team high 20 points and a season high 13 rebounds last game. Second double-double in his last 4 games. And like we talked about earlier, KB, Trey White finding his way offensively. Council finding more shots. Budinga obviously being out right now with 2 fouls. He's gotten it going offensively earlier before. All these are pieces that have had to rise with their level of play, considering Darren Peterson is not on the floor.
Flora Budinga has been out since the 17:06 mark. Trey White will get a breather as well. Peterson returns for Kansas. Darren Peterson, #2 freshman in the country, ranked only behind A.J. Debonsa, BYU, in the recruiting rankings. He has yet to score in this game in 7 minutes. He's 0 for 2. Peterson guarded by the 6-year Allen Breed and switched off to Williams. NC State will switch everything. They're comfortable with Van Allen Lubin switching on the guards.
Tough shot.
It's short, and it's out of bounds as Cole Rosario crashed in.
Just a tough shot from McDowell. Floating away from the basket, floating out of bounds off of one leg, a runner. That's not the shot you want offensively.
And McDowell's going to take a seat. Jaden Dawson, who only played the final minute of the game last game, is in.
Can you tell I know a bad shot when I see one from somebody who's been subbed out a lot after taking those bad shots?
Well, I saw a picture of a brick next to the NC State pep band today, and I had to take a selfie with it because that summed up my entire career.
I was going to say, I didn't shoot a lot of bricks in this building.
Buddy or Copeland, short. You forgot you played in this building, even though you probably shot about 80%. All right, great basketball triple header following us. It's 6 o'clock Eastern.
Wow.
And we still have a triple header with 4 ranked matchups. Arizona #1 against Bama, UCLA Gonzaga, and of course Dave O'Brien, Dick Vitale, and Charles Barkley in Rupp for Indiana, Kentucky. It's mid-December, and we have a triple header like this.
Like I said, 41 ranked matchups before January, the most since the AP poll has been created. You think you get a chance to see a lot of great basketball. Did the game North Carolina at Kentucky with Dick Vitale the other night. Got a chance to see Caleb Wilson play, a talented player. Mark Pope hasn't found a way to get his team over the hump, but still another huge opportunity against Indiana this evening.
Well, we said a significant development in this game. That foul is on Darren Peterson. He's going to stay in, but he's got 2.
That's his second.
So Badunga is out with 2. Tougher to play their big man. Peterson will remain in the game with 2 more fouls than points.
You got to give NC State a lot of credit. They've taken Peterson out of the game. They're blitzing him on everything, and he only has 2 shot attempts thus far.
Allen Breed. Now Lubin comes out. There's the blitz and the double team. He has to get rid of it. NC State recovers well. Into the freshman, and Bia denied by Lubin, and Bia gets it back. Shot clock hasn't reset. He puts it off the rim, no good. The freshman who was originally headed to NC State before recommitting to Kansas, Paul and Bia.
Lubin only has 3 blocks in 254 minutes. That's his 4th block of the season.
Copeland stripped. Rosario biting him up on the post attempt. Gets it back and finishes through traffic.
What a finish. Rosario with that
Cole Rosario.
Acrobatic left-hand lay.
Didn't score a point. Played just 3 minutes on Saturday.
That's the matchup. Kansas is going to switch. Post up.
Copeland misses at 3. NC State 1 for 11 from 3. And then Terrence Arsenault takes away the ball from behind. Now Copeland long steps through the lane, finishes and gets fouled. The chattiest man on the court, hyping up his team and his fan base with a 3-point lead.
Career high 28 points versus Texas, 22 points versus Auburn. Will Wade said he's like the dog of our team. He's the closest thing we have to a full-time dog. And when you get a chance to talk to Copeland, he likes to yap, he likes to talk, he loses himself in the fight of the game.
Bill Self was just having an animated discussion with Clarence Armstrong. Clarence Armstrong's now going over to the NC State bench. Will Wade is barking across the way about something. Roger Ayers face-to-face right there with Will Wade. Tony Padilla was talking to Bill Self, and Clarence Armstrong is at the monitor. We will take this as the 8-minute timeout and clean up the situation when we return to Raleigh. Just more great college basketball action, guys, and for Kansas during the timeout, Darren Peterson's second foul was taken away, changed to Jaden Dawson. Here's the play that was originally called a foul on Peterson. You can see Dawson right there, #1, undercut Copeland. That's why Bill Self was mad. The Kansas bench realized that Peterson had 2 fouls because the foul going to break was called on Dawson. As Copeland converts a three-point play, the Kansas bench probably thought, wait, why is that Dawson's first? He should have another, and that's why the game was stopped for a review.
Well, I'm sure Kansas is elated that Darren Peterson didn't get a second foul. As I'm watching the replay, I'm like, could he see Man U ball? Please step in and take a charge. Still goes to show you the level of improvement that Darren Peterson can have on the defensive end. You look at his size, his frame, there's no doubt about it. He is an elite, gifted scorer, one of the best that Bill Self has ever seen, but still his basketball IQ on the defensive end and other smaller things will naturally progress the more he continues to put in the time and effort around the game.
NC State has shut him down so far. Wolfpack leading by 4. Kansas is 4 of 20, 2 of 11 from 3. NC State 5 of 20, 1 of 11 from 3. Peterson again out of the double team. Council all alone. Hits his third three of the game.
Hey, look. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. The plan is to let Melvin Council shoot the ball. He's made 3 shot attempts, but still, if you're just playing a game of odds, you like your odds if Melvin Council has to drop 30 tonight in order for him to beat your team.
Lubin from Williams. Block to block for the slam, and Venon and Lubin's got an early 8.
Without Badinga on the court, but now Lubin is going to have a lot of shots at the rim that will not be contested.
And you wonder, boy, how is Lubin going to handle the size of Kansas? Well, handled it easier because Badunga got 2 fouls in 3 minutes. Bryson Tiller has not scored. That's a wild shot in the lane. Here's Copeland. NC State has led pretty much the whole way, up 3 now, with 7 to play in the first half. Wolfpack looking for that big signature non-conference win against this tough schedule. Copeland crossing. Terrence Arsenault. No good. Are these good looks NC State's getting from 3?
I mean, it's good looks both teams are getting from the outside, but none of them are making shots at a high clip.
Council batted around to Lubin, who's got 8 and 6 right now. I mean, they're 1 for 12.
And this is a guy that needs to get going, not just offensively, but his ability to facilitate plays. He should be doing a lot more stuff like this, operating out of the post against a smaller guard.
Williams will screen for McNeil, get it back. He's all alone. He misses another wide open 3. Here's White in transition, tied up by McNeil. Good defense and a jump ball will stay with the Jayhawks.
Well, Trey White just brought the ball right to the defender, and McNeil. You brought the ball right to him. If anything, keep that ball on the side of your body, use your left shoulder, and create contact trying to get to the rim. But great hands by McNeil Jr. to get in there and to draw up the jump ball.
NC State's coming off a game where they allowed their fewest points in 11 years, 85-45 against Liberty. And Will Wade basically said, yeah, we were good. We got to be massively better, though, against Kansas as Peterson finally gets going. And that's a bucket, but Will Wade has to be thrilled. It took 14 minutes for that guy to get on the scoreboard.
And by the way, think about the degree of difficulty with that shot. He wasn't on balance. He was fading out of bounds. Like, those are the type of possessions where even though he's so gifted, he's going to score, but you want those low percentage shots for him if you're NC State.
Williams, Badunga's back on the floor now with those 2 fouls, and Williams banks it in over him.
There's a part of Will Wade where I am sure it could be frustrating because you want D. Will to be aggressive. They are a different team when he hunts his shot.
White, that shot's goaltended by Copeland. 21-20 as we go back to the Peterson basket.
A guy just averaging 20 points per game. You see him coming off this little pin down here. He makes a read, attacks that body, but still tries to draw the contact. Still a very tough shot, but he's so gifted he can make it look easy.
Holloman feeds Williams.
This is where I think he needs to take his time. Draw the double team, methodically work your defender down.
Didn't get a double team and then took a wild fadeaway. One more dribble there for you?
I think you could just keep working him down on the block.
Council again. Council has hit 4 threes. He was 5 for 27 on the season, and he has shot Kansas into the lead. He's got 13 of their 23 as Copeland spins to tie it at the other end. Peterson back from Council, got it quickly, got it in the air and missed a 3. Tiller taps it to Holloman. Trey Holloman He's got a chance to shoot.
Man, it feels like we're at the Y, doesn't it?
Peterson into the body of Copeland, who was all over him, and Copeland picks up his second foul.
Said coming into the game, Melvin Council was shooting 19% from the three-point line. But the beautiful thing about shooters, they have no conscience. And this is what I was talking about before for guys like Copeland and Williams, to back down their opposing defenders, be methodical in their action, make reads off that. And a lot of times with their size and their frame, they'll find themselves at the rim with point-blank shot attempts.
Copeland leaves the floor with those 2 fouls. Peterson gets it into Badunga. Williams against Peterson now. Leans in, and Peterson buries it from nearly the same spot. 25-23, Kansas, which has trailed pretty much the whole game with a couple of leads on the last 2 possessions. Peterson's got 4. Holloman's got a big tiller on him. Lubin, Paul McNeil, not scored it yet. Very methodical possession for State.
Got away with the walk there.
He sure did. Hangs in the air, misses wildly. It's as good as a walk. Kansas has clamped down defensively and hit some shots.
Well, if you want to know why Darren Peterson has a chance to be the first pick in the NBA draft, this is a pro move. This is why you call him a baby Donovan Mitchell or Brandon Roy. Look at the way he dips his left shoulder into his opponent, dips his shoulder into him, creates some space. Woo, that thing is smooth.
Seth, Tom Zubin coming up on the Jeep Halftime Report. The most thrilling win of the day coming courtesy of the only Power 4 team that's never won a tourney game. That's at the half. What are we seeing in the first?
Well, right now, NC State, you got to take advantage. Badunga's not in. He's in foul trouble. You're 1 of 14 from 3. We'll figure out that later. Let's get in the paint, get one more foul on Kansas, finish the half in the bonus.
I love the defensive game plan of NC State. Take the other team's best player out of the game, make someone else beat you. Kansas, get the ball in transition to Peterson so he has some space.
Thank you, Tom Crane. I mean, that's exactly what we were talking about. One of the league's and nation's best shot blockers is not in the game, and NC State shouldn't settle for taking contested threes. They should punish them down low on the block with the likes of Copeland and Williams every possession.
Peterson's going to get to the lane now, or to the line. He just hit a couple of jumpers from that right side of the lane. He'll shoot his first 2 free throws of the game. And with a foul, the first on Van Allen Lubin.
You know, when he figures it out, it's going to be even scarier. Right now, he's only averaging around 3.7 free throw attempts per game. For a guy who's able to have that athleticism and that frame that he has, he should be going to the free throw line 7 to 8 times per game. He should be getting 9 to 10 points a night from the free throw line.
Gets a point there, goes 1 for 2. Top 5 NBA prospects right now are all freshmen. You are one of many that's talked about what a special freshman class we have in college basketball this year. A.J. DeBonsa put on a show at the Garden Tuesday as McNeil misses a 3. Rebound to Flory Badunga. But this kid to you as high a ceiling as anybody in the group, do you think?
Darren Peterson?
Yeah.
I may say Cameron Boozer. Just because I think his game, he could play inside out. He could do it a variety of ways. A.J. DeBonsa obviously in that category. Kingston Flemings from Houston in that category. There's a lot of big-time talent out there. Darren Peterson is special, but I need to see him do a lot more than being just an elite shooter, considering it's my first time watching it in person. There's no doubt about the talent level. I just want to see it translate, because right now NC State's doing a hell of a job.
Oliver misses a 3. NC State cannot hit from deep. 1 for 16 from 3. White feeds the post and Tiller. Largest lead for Kansas. White driving it into Williams. Hands off Badunga, who stuffs it home. Will Wade takes timeout. The Jayhawks have scored the last 7 and extend their largest lead. Back in 30 to Raleigh. First basket for Flory Badunga caps a 7-0 Kansas run. They've got a 7-point lead.
And what you like about that, getting Badunga going offensively, Trey White, this is the type of fire you want from this Kansas team. When they're locked in defensively, they are elite on the perimeter, but their scoring droughts are things that hinder them. And it feels like in order for them to reach their ceiling, who are the people that can make the game easy for everybody else? That's Trey White, and that's Melvin Council Jr.
They've got NC State in a scoring drought right now. Holloman snaps it. There's a scoring drought of about 3 minutes. 5 for Trey Holloman. NC State, which has been inconsistent defensively this year, played so well much of this first half, but hasn't hit a shot. So Kansas kept hanging around. And now the Jayhawks are hot. Tiller swings it to Council. Why not? Got a career-high tying 4 threes. He can't hit a fifth.
The one thing you like about Melvin Council Jr., he's going to keep shooting it. He doesn't care what his shooting percentage is, what anybody says. There's no doubt he's a firm believer in his own ability.
McNeil, another good look, and finally a three-pointer goes for NC State. First made 3 in 14 minutes of game time. Here's Peterson in the final minute of the half. Not close. 7 straight for Kansas. Copeland. McNeil. Almost 8 straight for NC State. Williams cleans it up and he ties the game, matching the 7-0 run of the Jayhawks.
A great job by Van Allen. Lubin keeping that ball alive, getting it back up on the rim.
What a fun finish to the first half. Game that was pretty sleepy for about 17 minutes and has awoken dramatically in the last 3. Council leading the way with 13. White bricks it. Williams will hoist at the end of the half. That's wide right. And we are right back where we started, all tied. 7-0 run Kansas, 7-0 run NC State, 30-30 at the half. A good one here in Raleigh, part of this great day of college basketball. The folks in the studio will tee you up for all that and more right now.
Kevin, Jay, Will, thank you. And that we welcome you inside the Jeep Halftime Report next.
This halftime report is presented by Jeep. There's only one. This halftime report is presented by Jeep. There's only one.
This week on Sunday NFL Countdown, and what to expect from Phillip Rivers' improbable comeback. It's Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
All right, Greeny, thank you. It's been a quiet first half for Darren Peterson, but guys like Tiller have helped fill it up. And after a slow start, we are tied between the Jayhawks and the Pack. This has been the Jeep Halftime Report.
Been an awfully busy day at the Lenovo Center, which was the home of NC State's fall graduation earlier today. Tons of folks behind the scenes helped get this court ready, get the bleachers moved in, set this thing up for a big-time basketball game today, 30-30. Kansas and NC State. Kevin Brown, Jay Williams back with you. Thanks to all the folks at Lenovo Center who got us ready for this marquee matchup, back-and-forth game, and it feels appropriate that we're tied after 20 minutes.
Yeah, and when I think about the #1 projected pick in the NBA draft, Kevin, when you think about Darren Peterson, 2 things can be true at the same time. NC State could have done a great job on him defensively, but also I'm going to need DP to be a little bit more aggressive defensively and hunting his shots. You're seeing NC State blitz him. This is a guy averaging 20 points per game. Only 5 points in the first half on 6 shots attempts because they've been getting the ball out of his hands. Now, Melvin Council coming into this game, 19% for the three-point line. He's made 4 threes, keeping Kansas in this game from the start. And then with Bedinga out in foul trouble, it's allowed Van Allen Lubin and also NC State, Darren Williams and Copeland to get down into the paint and dominate with points in the paint. I think it's something that NC State needs to continue to do and attack inside out in this ball game, considering they're shooting poorly from the three-point line.
Peterson's lowest scoring first half of the season. Kansas's lowest scoring first half. NC State's lowest scoring first half. So a great defensive team in Kansas and a team that's coming off a great defensive game in NC State. Their defenses have been the story as Quadir Copeland misses at the rim in this 30-30 tie.
And something very fascinating that I saw during the break. Darren Peterson did not warm up with the team. He came out with the Theragun, and then he got stretched for about 6 minutes. So I'm curious how he approaches the beginning of the second half. Well, maybe he doesn't need to stretch. Maybe he should do more stretching. That seemed very easy.
Just Theragunned it right into the hoop on the pass from Bedunga, who's been a great passer, by the way, this year. Flory Bedunga. 2 assists a game. Kansas, the first bucket of the half. Williams with a high arcing shot. That won't go. He's been much more aggressive. That's the good news, Jay. Well, the bad news, he's only 3 for 10. Here's Tiller into Bedunga right through his hands. For NC State, the shots Williams getting, are they good looks?
Well, they took 23 perimeter shots in the first half. 18 of them were threes, and 16 were contested. Probably the reason why they had the worst shooting half of the season for the Wolfpack.
McNeil, Williams, Lubin from the backside. Peterson took it away. Almost lost it. Ahead to Council. White all alone for 3.
Wow.
No good.
Is anybody going to get out there and at least try to contest it and run after it late?
Kansas not having a great shooting night either. 4 for 19 from 3. NC State 2 for 19.
Don't give it out. You attack him.
Holloman will hit it anyway.
I'm okay with Holloman taking that 3, but if you're Van Allen Lubin and you have Darren Peterson on you down low on the block, you attack him.
Peterson gets it from Tiller. Quick swing to White. Bedunga's inside. Missed most of the first half with foul trouble. They were plus 10 in his minutes, though. Council off the rim. Bedunga mistimed his jump. NC State led by Holloman and Lubin with 8. Williams trying to join them with a bucket. Instead, it's knocked out of bounds.
Now watch this backdoor cut by Darren Peterson. This isn't a hard cut. He's not sprinting at full speed. You just need to have better defense if you're Copeland. Got caught standing up. Not seeing ball, you man. And then you're seeing the defense on the other end by Darren Peterson coming over from the weak side for the big block and then pushing the ball in transition. I mean, he can do so many different things, but if you're NC State, you got to bring that same tenacity you had on the defensive end to start the game, where everybody was down in the stance, and it seemed like they were playing with passion and vigor.
Foul against Council, first of the half. This is first of the game. NC State by a point. McNeil curls and gets fouled from 3. A 3-shot foul will send Paul McNeil Jr. to the line. A couple of great women's basketball matchups for you tomorrow afternoon. The inaugural Sprouts Farmers Market ESPNW Invitational. This used to be a big-time Big 12 matchup. Baylor and Texas. Number 13, number 2 on ABC, followed by 3rd-ranked South Carolina against Penn State. Over on ESPN, 2 of the top 3 teams in the country in action tomorrow afternoon. Foul was Trey White's first. McNeil, 88% free throw shooter, misses the first one deep.
You know, Kevin, when I think about the ACC, I think Duke and Louisville are in a class of their own. I think North Carolina is right there. And depending upon the pattern of behavior you see from NC State, starting mostly on the defensive end, if they play with a sense of urgency, the way they played against Liberty, if they're able to find that energy here in the second half and play that way consistently, I think they can crack that North Carolina State to be up there in the second tier.
McNeil just 1 for 3. Lubin cleans it up and makes it a 3-point possession anyway. Real quick, you think Virginia can be in that category too?
I think Virginia can find themselves in that category as well.
Much better ACC, top to bottom this year. NC State didn't even make the ACC tournament a year ago. A revamped roster, a new coach, new life here in Raleigh. Peterson open. Can't do that if you're NC State. Darren Peterson hits his first 3. And he is in the double figures, a fabulous freshman, for the 4th straight game to begin his career. McNeil, step back jumper, no good. This is 1 for 7 and 1 for 3 at the line. White, too hot to handle for Baduga, and a Kansas turnover.
Now pay attention to D. Will in this highlight. He just loses Peterson here. They're going to, all right, cross. McNeely's on him now. Nobody's watching him. Hey, they're pointing. Nobody's paying attention to where he's at. You have to keep an eye on the most elite scorer on the floor. No recognition defensively. Everybody caught ball staring.
Twice that's happened against Peterson in the half. Holloman. Copeland will drive it, get cut off by Badunga. Peterson knocked it away. It's on the deck. NC State has the arrow and will maintain possession on the jump.
Gotta love how active the hands are for Kansas. You see why they have one of the most elite perimeter defensive units in college basketball. Everybody's hands are trying to pick the pot. They're active. They're blinding, contesting. They're all over the place defensively.
It's actually going to be Kansas ball. So I guess the arrow was reversed there, and Kansas had the arrow. That's the 3rd turnover committed, or just the 2nd committed by NC State in the game. Peterson gets fouled by the freshman Matt Abel. He just came into the game, and Abel picks up his 3rd foul immediately. By the way, you see the black eye for Abel, which was an inadvertent friendly fire. I guess there's no such thing as friendly fire that's not inadvertent, from Van Allen Lubin during a practice. NC State's had some harder practices, Will Wade tells us, in the last week plus.
I think he has a chance to be a star. The highest ranked signee at NC State since Dennis Smith Jr.
Council 3.
Yeah. Who's stopping ball?
That was deflected. It's going to stay with NC State. Eventually, somebody stopped the ball. NC State by a point.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul. And those 3 things are going to carry on forever.
It's V-Week here at ESPN, where we highlight the urgent need for cancer research. No more fitting place to do it than in the home of Tim Valvano himself. Please visit v.org/donate. If you're able, every dollar, every cent goes directly to cancer research.
And we beg of you to donate. I lost my Uncle Chuck. He passed away from leukemia. My aunt, my other cousin, conquered breast cancer. It's something that touches us all. And the only way we can beat it is to work together as one collective unit.
And the work that the V Foundation and other folks have done, help work toward a cure, help find life-saving, life-affirming treatment for so many. Invaluable. So again, it's v.org/donate. Every bit helps. And the most important thing we do here at ESPN. Peterson gets loose for the 3rd time this half. He's gotten free from the NC State defense, and all of a sudden he's up to 13.
Well, if you're late to get your hands up to contest, and what I mean by contest is not like a half-assed contest. I'm talking about your hands are in his face, deterring his vision. He's going to see the basket, and if he sees the basket, that's going to be a green light for a shot for him.
Williams too strong. Been a lot of one-and-dones in this game. 56 missed shots. Only 10 offensive rebounds. Badunga got turned away by Lubin. He's got a couple of blocks today. Copeland attacking. Forced the weird angle there, and then he throws it away. His 3rd turnover. And there's Darian Williams, who landed hard. First-year Wolfpack man, grimacing and on his feet. It didn't land that hard, just seemed to land awkwardly.
Yeah, you hope he's okay. Obviously, Darren Williams, one of those guys that is shifty and can maneuver his body to get to different points on the floor. But a lot of his power comes from those legs, and it's something that sustains him throughout the course of the game.
He's on the bench right now. 38-36 Kansas. Peterson has all 8 Jayhawk points in the second half. Badunga double team, stuffs it through. Flory Badunga with a ferocious finish. Peterson watching from the end of the bench. The Theragun working on his hamstrings again. His Jayhawks lead by 4. Holloman driving, tough finish, nearly tipped in. Badunga's got the rebound. There's Council for Kansas. Council, McDowell, White
had
into
one
traffic.
kick. Trey White had one more kick out.
Copeland trying to cross his way past Badunga. Tiller came over to the help side block.
And what an advantage it has for the team that ranks 16th in the country in block shots per game.
Kansas has really uglied this game up. Pretty ugly right now. It's a 10-0 run on a burst through the lane by Council, who's got 15.
Well, Tiller and Badunga just being patient, not biting on the ball fakes of Copeland, staying defensively disciplined, which allowed them to get the block. You love that with your Twin Towers.
Usually it's teams trying to ugly it up against Kansas. Copeland, with those long levers, gets it to go.
But just think about that. What a shot by Copeland, but the degree of difficulty is off the charts.
And then Kansas pushes tempo the other way, gets an easy bucket from White, and re-extends the lead to 6. This stripe-out crowd has been silenced the first 7 minutes of the half.
This doesn't feel like the ball is moving a lot for NC State. It's sticking a lot.
Copeland into 2 again, trying to push off McDowell. Finds Abel. Too deep from 3. Arsenault the rebound. Holloman shot ready, off the mark. And it's going to be NC State ball. They are not getting good looks, and Kansas is.
When you think about Flory Badunga right here, a lot of times you hate when big guys bring the ball low, but what agility off that move to finish with the left hand, having a breakout sophomore season, averaging 15 points per game, 9 rebounds. You know, defensively, he's so elite, but the more you continue to see him blossom offensively, it just shows you the full entire package.
Last year, he scored double figures 5 out of 34. This year, double figures in 9 out of 10.
And this is what I mean. The shot goes in, and it's a big-time shot by Holloman, but the ball doesn't have energy like it had in the first half.
How much of that is something Kansas is doing defensively?
Well, I think that's more NC State than KU.
Within 3, Peterson back in for Kansas, and White turns it over. Copeland looking in,
double dribble.
Energy, double dribbled it. He knew it.
He thought Holloman was going to slip towards the basket, but Holloman flared out. Had the right intent, but just not the right read.
Just the 4th turnover committed by NC State. They don't turn it over much, and Kansas doesn't turn you over much, but the Jayhawks have just forced a lot of tough shots. 3-point lead on the road, under 12 to play on this great college basketball Saturday in mid-December. Great triple header coming up after our games as Badunga turns it right back over.
Really great instincts right there by Matt, able to read that skip pass. Get a hand in that passing lane to get the steal.
Copeland to the basket, makes it a 1-point game. Now there's a little roar here in Raleigh. Abel again. Nearly intercepted another.
Well, look, NC State trying to find a way to increase this energy. We said the ball didn't have energy. Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Copeland is trying everything in his best interest to get this game back on pace. 44-43, Kansas over NC State here, and Darren Peterson has been great in the second half with 8 points, getting himself going, getting the defensive block from the weak side, and then NC State losing him in the half court, hands always ready, knocking down shots, and then a slow closeout will translate to a green light for Darren Peterson. He's a guy that gets the offense going by making the right reads within the offensive system, and there's no doubt about it, he's been finding his rhythm in the second half.
Will Self said Saturday he was trying to fit in. He said, I told Darren, let it come to you, but I don't think he's a let it come to me type of guy. Do you feel he's let the game come to him a little more today?
I do, but Kobe Bryant told me the best line, don't ever fit in, fit out, be yourself. And Maryland Council Jr. is being himself. Man.
I don't think he is, because he was 5 for 27 from 3 coming in. He's 5 for 11. He's being somebody else. The Council of Jayhawk threes, and Melvin leads by, Kansas leads by 4. Feels like Melvin leads by 4. He's got a career high 5. Alan Breed, meanwhile, that's the first field goal off the bench for an NC State player tonight. An unlikely answer. And Kansas's lead back down to 1. Here's Peterson. Breed gets into him. Peterson driving. Jump stop, and too strong. 2 Jayhawks are there. Peterson's put back. No, Badunga with a third chance in the finish.
I mean, how many hands and arms did you see above the rim with blue jerseys constantly keeping that ball alive? Second, third, fourth, fifth efforts is what wins games.
Just the second chance basket for Kansas, and Copeland gets to the line. Hey, we are 2 minutes away from the Heisman Trophy ceremony. For those of you who are split screen folks, 91st annual ceremony. Fernando Mendoza of Indiana, Diego Pavia of Vanderbilt, Julian Sand of Ohio State, 3 quarterback finalists, then Notre Dame running back Jeremiah Love. That is just 2 minutes away over on ABC and the ESPN app.
Who are you giving it to?
I think it's really close between the 2 guys in the middle, Mendoza and Pavia.
Yep.
2 great football powerhouse schools, Indiana and Vanderbilt. I would go with Mendoza. It's very, very close. I mean, the fact that Indiana and Vanderbilt are on this graphic is almost unbelievable. Those 2 have had extraordinary seasons. I would slightly go Mendoza, but I think Pavia's a great choice too.
Yeah, I think I'll probably go Mendoza. Both my mom and my dad graduated from the Ohio State, as they have properly trained me to say, since birth. And watching that first hit he took in that game to come back and play the way he did against Ohio State, that was one heck of a performance.
Rich Fowler will be hosting it for the 32nd time, by the way. And we'll find out who takes home the hardware in a little bit. 49-48. There's Peterson again from McDowell. He's got 10 in the second half and 15 in the game.
Well, McDowell got bailed out right there. He left his feet for a pass. Peterson recognized that. Instead of cutting through, came back for a little back cut. Smart play by Darren Peterson.
Copeland. NC State without Darian Williams now for the last several minutes after he landed hard on his legs and has left the game. Copeland, nowhere to go there. Council with a steal. Rare transition opportunity for Kansas. Council may have traveled. Peterson, no good on the layup. Badunga's on the deck, and it's ripped away by Breed. And Breed may have pushed off Jackson a little bit. Abel, 3, got it. We are tied. McDowell, no. Here's Copeland.
What a pass.
Moving. How did he roll it in there? Fernando Mendoza would have been happy with that tight window. NC State is back on top.
I tell you, Copeland is making play after play in transition, kicks it out. Matt able to knock down a three. And watch this lefty, lazy, slip pass at the left hand. What a pass! Van Allen Lubin with the deuce.
Coming up next, Indiana, Kentucky, Dickie V and Sir Charles together on a call for the first time. Is it going to be terrible or is it going to be awesome, baby?
It's going to be both. I mean, I haven't seen Chuck in a three-piece in a long time. That is clean. Go ahead, Uncle Chuck. What a game we got here, man.
NC State, Kansas, pretty good appetizer for IU, Kentucky. And then, by the way, Arizona, Alabama, Gonzaga, UCLA after that. Two-point game here in Raleigh. Peterson has had a monster second half with a dozen, and he reties it. This has been #1 freshman in the country type stuff. He's in the conversation, and he's got 17. And that hamstring still far from 100%. Copeland behind the back, and then Lubin fouls Badunga, who landed hard and gets help to his feet. 53-53, Jay. Darren Peterson starting to take over.
Yeah, well, he's giving you that offensive tutorial. Watch the poise, the patience, a little head fake. He knows they're going to blitz him on the ball screen. Oh, get you off the ground, Matt Abel. A freshman on freshman, just doing his business.
Darren Peterson just got up off the chair. He's the last one out of the chair at the end of every break. He's been applying that Theragun to his legs, to his hamstrings, G-Will, at every single time out.
I mean, the discipline, the consistency. I've never seen a player Theragun so much as Darren Peterson does. Not only every time out, when it came out before the game, he Theragunned, and during the entire half, instead of actually warming up before the second half started, he Theragunned and stretched, trying everything in his interest to keep the mobility and to keep the rhythm of what his legs provide on the basketball court.
And it's working out. He's got a dozen in the second half, 17 in the game. Trey White, no good on a three. Long rebound is tracked down by Badunga, his 8th of the game. Starting five out there for Kansas, which has all but 2 points from its starters as Holloman hooks Peterson. That's the third foul on NC State.
And that's the next iteration for Peterson's game. I think catching the ball on that extended wing, clearing out a side and backing down his opponent, considering he has that height advantage whenever Holloman's on him.
By the way, Darian Williams is back in the game. He missed 7 minutes, 35 seconds of game time for NC State.
And they just need him on the court down the stretch. When it's just Copeland, he's the only person facilitating the offense, trying to score, but also being a deliberate passer. Now with having Williams back on the court, it gives you 2 offensive options to run a lot of action for.
Williams is 3 of 11 in the game, 0 for 4 from 3, but their leading scorer at 16 a game on the year. Council attacking again. That's a tough shot, and it will roll home to 20-point game, a new season high for Melvin Council Jr.
I told you the numbers may not say that's who he is, but that's who Melvin Council believes who he is.
From the great city of Rochester, New York. Shout out to all the folks up in Rochester. As Council and Kansas will take it over off a travel.
Well, they go over the top of the screen. He recognizes that, changes speeds, actually gets bumped right there. Could make a case that was an and one.
Bill Self said earlier in the week, does he know what he's doing all the time? Maybe not. But he plays 38 minutes. He guards the other team's best player. And I tell him every day, gosh, man, I'm glad we got you. Feels like he's been their MVP the first 10 games.
It reminds him a lot of Tashawn Taylor.
Yes. Great comparison to have when you play in KU blue. 6 to shoot. Here's Council again. Another tough shot. Tried to draw the contact, and it's out of bounds on the line to NC State. Final 6:07. What's critical for NC State offensively?
Well, I think they need to get the defense moving from side to side, get some dribble kickouts, and you have to think that would start with Copeland and with Williams, considering they're such great distributors, but also they can be elite offensive options for themselves at the rim.
Copeland has scored or assisted on the last 12 NC State points.
You got to give him the ball right there.
Williams had against Council that mismatch. Didn't touch it. Breed swings it. Holloman. No. And Lubin just takes away the rebound. Drives his body into Council. Missed it. Tapped out Copeland. One dribble. Sets up Breed. No good. Rebound. High pointed and won by Kansas's Jackson, who may have traveled.
High quality shots from North Carolina State. Not able to knock him down.
5:20 to go, 2-point game. White. No Peterson on the floor right now for Kansas. White. Out of bounds to the Wolfpack.
And with Peterson out, this is the unit that struggles offensively. That needs to come from Council or Trey White. But this is where, if I were NC State, I would get Copeland or Darian Williams on the block. Play inside out instead of settling for jumper after jumper.
28 of their 59 shots have been from three. They've only hit 6.
So this is the post up, in my opinion.
Right now,
give it to him.
He's got it.
There you go.
Got it.
You got to clear out.
John Jackson sets up Breed to tie the game. They got something else out of that mismatch, and it's 55 all. Council cut off by Breed. Jackson around Copeland. Jackson kicks it. Council hits it. His 6th-3 of the game. They have dared him to shoot, and he has delivered time and again. (58-55). Lubin wants it again. Again guarded by the 6'3 Jackson. They don't get it to him. Williams now. No height advantage here against Tiller. Rips it through. Lubin squeezes it home.
Great job by Lubin going into the body of Badinga, forcing him to react, almost causing some shock, and then lifting up quickly to get the ball over the front of the rim.
14-9 for Lubin. 8th straight game in double figures. Under 4 to play. No Peterson right now for Kansas. Tiller 3. That will not go. That's not his shot. He hasn't hit a 3 in over a month. Copeland, spinorama, got it! He smacks the floor with a 1-point Wolfpack lead. Melvin Council gave Kansas the lead a couple of possessions ago with his 6'3". An unlikely source of threes on one end. Quadir Copeland doing everything for NC State on the other. What a finish we've got.
Now basketball is my favorite sport.
Zuba, we cannot wait. Dave O'Brien's going to get into a Hall of Fame after tonight, by the way, for dealing with Dick Vitale and Charles Barkley. 59-58 NC State. 9 ties, 8 lead changes. Great finish on our hand, Jay Will.
Well, first off, I wish Zubin would talk that way about our broadcast. I feel like our credentials are up there as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but this game's coming down the wire. And this is everything you love about college basketball. 2 great programs with a lot of history. And it will come down to these star players, Darren Peterson, Quadir Copeland, and Darian Williams. Can it make plays down the stretch for their respective units?
Foul against Adam Breed. NC State's got plenty to give. Coming up in, let's see, 43 minutes over on ABC. It's the Bucked Up LA Bowl hosted by Rob Gronkowski. It's SoFi Stadium. Boise State champions of the Mountain West against Washington. Bowl season begins on this Saturday, along with all the great college basketball we've got. 59-58. Peterson inbounds to Flory Badunga with 3 minutes to play. A back and forth game. 2 teams looking for a massive non-conference win. Peterson trapped, lost his dribble, got it to Marco Jackson. 5 to shoot here. It's been Council's night, and he shot, puts it in. It's 7-3. A career 27% three-point shooter has gone absolutely berserk.
And 26 points tonight, just made of nails. If anybody wants the ball down the stretch, I told you earlier, Council Jr. does.
Copeland, Holloman, quick release. Couldn't answer, and Badunga with a strong rebound, his 9th of the game. Melvin Council Jr. and Kansas, not a timeout. It's Peterson with an issue now. Oh, this is really terrible to see with 2:15 to go. Peterson was out of the game for about 4 minutes, working on the hamstrings, and he has to take a seat in a 2-point game with 2:15 left.
Obviously a huge loss for Kansas. Guy averaging 20 points per game. Whatever KU fan is worried about, when you have hamstring issues, those things tighten up on you. You try to stay as hydrated as possible. We made mention of the fact that every break he was Theragunning himself. He's been getting stretched, doing everything in his ability to stay on the court. Just not able to close it out tonight. Probably in a game in which you need him as an offensive option the most down the stretch.
A towel over his head. Can only be a spectator now as White is blocked by Williams. Holloman. Copeland into the paint. Copeland is fouled. He'll try to tie it with 2:02 to go at the line. Watch the right foot of Peterson. A whole wince there, Jay, on the defensive possession.
Yeah, I didn't see any contact. Just seeing him, looks like he's running okay, and then he hobbled over to the sidelines.
Copeland hits the first of 2. White just really takes the air out of this game to a degree when you lose a star like Peterson. Hey, for Kansas, they have to do what they've done most of this year, play and win without Darren Peterson, which they've done. They went 3-0 at the Players era without him. They played some really high-quality opponents without him. Duke, Tennessee, UConn, and now they're going to try to beat NC State on the road without their leading scorer. Council's been their leading scorer tonight with 26. Trey White. Council nearly had it taken away by Copeland. The St. Bonaventure transfer. His pass is deflected. Tuesday night ACC Network doubleheader to tell you about. Plenty more great college hoops coming up. 2 more outstanding freshmen. Cameron Boozer and Duke against Lipscomb. Caleb Wilson and UNC against East Tennessee State. Starts at 6 Eastern, 5 Central. White with a shot clock at 5. Council driving. Council finishes. He's tied a career high with 28. He has ripped control of this game time and again, and Kansas reclaims the lead.
Well, 2 things for Melvin Council Jr. and KU right now. On ball screens, you got to set it lower if they're going to go over. They jumped on the high side of it. Great job kind of going against the grain and finding a way with the acrobatic finish at the rim.
80 seconds to play. Copeland leading the way with 17.
And you missed the post up.
Here's Williams into Lubin. Tough bounce pass, and somehow Lubin catches, finishes, and ties the game again. With a minute to go, we're 63 all. Trey White. Council for 3. Another! You cannot be serious! He has doubled his career high with 8 3-pointers. He was 5 for 27 on the year, and Melvin Council's out-of-body experience has put Kansas back in the lead.
I tried to tell you before, that boy is hotter than cayenne pepper. I'm telling you, he does not believe that he is not the best player on the court. He knows he is, and he's shooting the ball with confidence every possession. The ball is in his hands, whether it's a drive, whether it's making a play for somebody else, or whether it's putting a dagger in your heart with another three. He is doing it all for the Jayhawks this night.
This is a kid who was playing at Monroe College for 2 years. 21 point per game scorer, lower level basketball there. Went up to Wagner and was first team all Northeast Conference. Went up to St. Bonaventure, was third team all A-10. He's taken big jump after big jump in his college career, and up to Kansas, Jay, he has made this jump with a plum.
Hey, this is the beautiful part about college basketball. Melvin Council Jr., a former two-time JUCO All-American at Monroe College in New York. I'm not sure there's a faster guard in America with the ball in his hands than the way he plays. And adding the addition of his shooting ability right now, you are watching a bona fide leader lead his team with will and shot making down the stretch to hopefully a victory for the Kansas Jayhawks. Man, what a special performance.
The kid out of Rochester, New York, with a veritable garbage plate of three-point baskets tonight. 8 for 14 from deep. 31 of Kansas's 66. That's probably the face that Will Wade's making in his head. And his NC State team will have the ball after a review for a timing issue. The clock at 49.5 with NC State down 3.
Have to be strong with the ball. I would go back inside on a quick shot at North Carolina State. There's no need to take a rush contested three. Get the ball down and extend this game.
Now NC State still has 3 timeouts. Only 14 fouls apiece for both. Copeland in the paint. Williams for the tie.
Yes, sir! His first three of the game in the most perfect moments. They got that shot off early, which means NC State will have the last shot in this ball game. Smart play by Will Wade.
Kansas with only a single timeout remaining.
The ball has to be in the hands of Melvin Council Jr. Has to be with the way he's feeling tonight.
And we're going to get that timeout. Kansas will take it with 20.5 to go and 12 to shoot. 66-66.
Oh, great job by Copeland once again. Say you don't need to take a contested three. You can take a wide open three. Copeland drawing both defenders. Great job of a reverse pivot. They work on that all day today in practice. And then D. Will being the recipient with the hands ready to knock it down.
Last year, the last time Darian Williams played Kansas with Texas Tech, he didn't miss any shot. He went 12 for 12, scored 30 as his Red Raiders beat Kansas by 29. Not the same kind of night tonight, just 4 for 12, but he has put NC State in position here, and now they've got to defend with 12 to shoot, 20.5 to go.
Well, whenever you hear Will Wade talk, he talks about the hallmark card for NC State being on the defensive end. Now is an opportunity. With 12 seconds left on the shot clock, you will have the last possession. If you get a stop, if you play with a sense of urgency, you will have a shot to win. You have to think the ball is going to be in the hands. The two guys that can create are Trey White and Melvin Council Jr. I would try to blitz Melvin Council Jr. to get the ball out of his hands. Make somebody else beat you, considering how hot he's been on the perimeter.
Council has a career-high 31 points.
Nobody else has taken a shot, KB, the last 4 minutes.
It doesn't feel like it.
It's only been him.
Now, Kansas has been doing this all without Darren Peterson for the last minute 40 or so. Their fabulous freshman who limped off the court. So it's going to be Jamari McDowell to inbound, Jackson, White, Badunga, and Council.
I stay home on Trey White, and I blitz Council on any ball screen.
Allen Breed guards Council. Council drives, puts it up too strong. Badunga with the rebound, putback won't go. No whistle in there. NC State has 3 timeouts. Oh, they use one. They're not going to. Williams, Copeland for the win. No! A devilishly good 40 minutes, and we are not done in Raleigh. Hang on there, Dickie V and Sir Charles in Lexington. We've got 5 more minutes to play in a 66-all tie. Quadir Copeland couldn't win it at the horn, and we'll have an extra 5 minutes. We'll catch our breath here. We'll send it into the studio for Zubin Mehenti. Zubin, we can't wait for that, except we actually can wait. We have to wait a little. We got 5 minutes in a 66-all game.
Well, just the presence of Badunga, who's averaging 2.5 blocks per game, which leads the Big 12, being down low in the paint, forces him to throw that thing super high, a floater over the top. And that's why you got Badunga down there, right? He alters shots with his mere presence, but still Copeland just wishing he had that one back. You've seen him make this shot many times before. A great look to try to close it out, just couldn't finish. And he knows it.
NC State had 3 timeouts. You like the no timeout there from Will Wade?
I do. Keeps the defense on the edge, and you can see Copeland working on that shot again and again and again in his mind. He knows he missed a chippy.
All right, so overtime, it's looking like Kansas is going to be without Darren Peterson, who has been dealing with hamstring issues most of the year. Limped off the court with just over 2 to go. He has 17, but he's not in there. Council has blown everybody in this game. NC State's strategy was let Melvin Council shoot, and he shot 31 points, 8 made threes, but a 66-all game as we go to the overtime period.
Question for KU is, where does the point production come from if it's not coming from Melvin Council Jr.?
What's the answer?
We're about to find out.
Tip 1 to Williams and NC State, and what a start to overtime. Williams with an and-one opportunity, 3 seconds into the OT.
Williams using that 6'6", 230-pound frame to attack the chest of Council Jr. Nothing he could do. Exquisite job finishing through contact. That's the type of mentality you want D-Will to have consistently.
The 2 schools that were hardest after Darian Williams when he left Texas Tech and headed into the portal. NC State got him over Kansas, and right now he's looking to lead NC State over Kansas. Couldn't convert the 3-point play. 68-66 State. Jackson for Kansas. Trey White's had a tough shooting night, just 3 for 10. They've really got nothing out of anybody but Council. The rim's got to look like it's 30 feet wide to this kid. He's hit 9 3-pointers.
I am still shocked that Melvin Council Jr. continues to find himself wide open for shots.
He is 34. The rest of his team has 35, and a steal for McDowell.
If you're NC State, you know where the ball is going.
Council.
They're still not showing on the screens. They're still giving him wide open shots if he wants it.
Council rushes up to get it. Instead, the ball swung out to White. Into Badunga, and Flory can't finish. White extends that long right arm and tips it up and in. That snaps a streak of 16 consecutive Kansas points scored by Council and gives the Jayhawks a 3-point lead in OT. Williams spinning. Here's Holloman. Holloman with a dribble. Holloman floats it short. Rebound to Council. 34 points, 6 boards, 3 assists, and a steal. Council drives it again with the left hand. He's got 36.
He is putting on an absolute show. Changing speeds, knocking down jumpers, finding ways to lay it in with the left. Man, what a performance.
A 10.7 per game scorer has upped his game considerably. With a limited Peterson and with no help from the rest of his teammates, he's got 36.
What a job being shifty right there, using the right hand to pull down on Holloman a little bit as well. And then once again, if they're helping off of him, you know he's going to get the ball down late. Just poor communication. Darren Williams not getting up there to force him to be a driver, considering he's made so many threes from the three-point line. A late contest leads to an open bucket for Melvin Council Jr. right now with 36 points on 9 of 15 from the three-point line.
In the long and storied history of Kansas basketball, the second winningest program in Division I history, Melvin Council is in the record books with the second most made three-pointers in a single game. 9 of them. 9 for 15 for Melvin Council Jr., who we may remind you was 5 for 27 on the year and 27% career in Division I. Terry Brown has the record with 11, and Council has gone absolutely bananas. He scored 18 of the last 20 for KU.
And they've all been clutch shots. Shots when his team needs him to do it the most. Once again, with Darren Peterson, the projected #1 pick in the NBA draft, on the sideline due to a leg injury. You know, his ongoing hamstring issues he's been having. The one primary option, actually the only offensive option for Kansas, has been Melvin Council Jr. in this game.
So NC State took the timeout. They still have 3 remaining. From their vantage point, look, they've lost to Seton Hall in Maui. They lost to Texas in Maui. They did beat Boise State. They lost at Auburn. They've got Ole Miss in Greensboro coming up in 8 days. Well, which team's going to have more chances for good wins in the ACC because the ACC is better, but they have good wins. They don't have a great resume win in the non-conference, and I know it's early to be talking resume, but
no, it's never too early.
These are the kind of games, Jay, that you can't lose too many of in the non-conference.
This is why you challenge yourself in the non-conference with the slate that NC State had. And, you know, preseason top 25, a team that got superstar power in the portal, was able to land the Big 12 Player of the Year in D. Will, Landemir, NC State, Holloman from Michigan State, that took them to the Elite Eight. They have the right pieces, just haven't been able to get over the hump with the signature win. And that's why this opportunity against Kansas at home feels like a must-win for the Wolfpack. That resume is important after you get into conference. You talk about a quad 1 win in the non-conference. This is their last chance.
You beat Kansas, it's going to be a quad 1 win. We know that about the Jayhawks. Williams gets a look, and Williams all of a sudden has found his shooting stroke. A 3 out of the timeout. He's got a quick 8 at the end of regulation in an OT, and it's a 2-point game. 73-71. Kansas by 2 on the road. Trey White, no fumble there. It's been Council with 18 of the last 20. He's got the ball, switched on to Lubin, blows by him, and leaves it short. Fight for the rebound, there's a foul, and it's going against Kansas. That's the 6th on the Jayhawks.
They changed it up. NC State switching on everything, what they typically do, going back to that instead of going under those ball screens where Council was able to make the right reads, forcing him to try to beat people off the dribble and take a shot over extended arms contested.
Next foul puts the Pack in the bonus. Williams again. Williams tied it at the end of regulation. Gives them the lead in overtime. Council, after the 12th lead change of the game, here's White. He gets fouled. White will shoot 2 with 1:40 to go, and Kansas down by 1.
We talked about Williams averaging 11 points per game over his last 6, but this is why he is here in Raleigh, North Carolina. That's why Will Wade brought him to this town, for his clutch shot making and his ability to lead the Wolfpack to a place they haven't gone in a while.
Will Wade, meanwhile, is still screaming about the foul call against Allen Breed. Looked like he may have gone straight up. First free throws for Kansas since the first half. And White rims it in, out, and back in. Here's the foul call. It's on Breed.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Looked like he was pretty parallel to me. Straight up.
And White hits both. So what a big call that is. 75-74, Kansas back in front. "13 ties, 13 lead changes on the 13th of December. Holloman passes up the three. Copeland around McDowell, slithers into the paint, and he scores it. NC State on the 14th lead change is back in front. 19 for Copeland. One minute to play. Council, McDowell with no Darren Peterson for overtime. It's been Council's show into Badunga. A rim rocker returns the Jayhawks to the lead.
And what a seal by Badunga. Had the North Carolina player on the high side, kept him on that high side, sealed him, and a great pass by Council over the top.
40 seconds to go. Copeland in no hurry. Copeland backing his way down against McDowell. A tough angle shot was all the way down and squeezed out. You have to foul now for NC State. You got one to give, and Breed will give it. And he took a shot as well, going in hard against Council. 27 seconds to go. That was the foul to give, and Allen Breed gave up his face. We'll see if the officials want to take a look at this for a possible flagrant foul on the elbow by Council. And Clarence Armstrong will go to the monitor with 27.1 to go.
The previous play is under review.
Oh. Yeah, he got him with that elbow over the top. That is not a normal basketball move at all. I know he's trying to swing his body through, but typically as a guard, when you give it in and out, you're keeping your hands low, trying to get lower to the ground. You never see the left arm raised over the top that way.
So the crew of Roger Ayers, Tony Padilla, and Clarence Armstrong have to determine if there's going to stay a common foul on Breed or if there's a potential flagrant upgrade here. Flagrant one could be an excessive or unnecessary act, violent conduct to the head, and they have to determine if this is enough to upgrade what was not called a flagrant foul on the floor.
Well, I trust this elite officiating crew, but that was an unnatural basketball movement.
It is a common foul in NC State. It'll be Kansas ball on the sideline.
Well, there is no flagrant foul assessed. Will Wade's not happy about it. You just got an explanation from Tony Padilla. What did he tell you?
Yeah, they considered it a natural basketball play. I might differ on that opinion. I don't typically see swing throughs that are coming over the top. But was it intentional? I don't think it was intentional. I think it was more accidental. So, I'm going to trust the ref's judgment here. They've been on top of it all night tonight.
So shot clock off. NC State needs a takeaway or a foul. White for McDowell. They got a foul here. What are they doing? They have to foul down one. And Copeland does with 19. A total lack of communication for NC State. Let a lot of time go off. It's going to be a 1-and-1 here with 19 seconds to go. And it'll send the guy you don't want to send to the line. The guy who's hit 9 threes today and scored 36, Melvin Council. 1 for 2 at the line. And he breaks the first. NC State's got 3 timeouts now. Copeland not looking to use it. On the back down, Copeland gets it out to Williams for three. No! It's Council and he's fouled. Williams misses a potential game winner, and Council will go back to the line for a 1-and-1 with 3 seconds remaining. Holy smokes, what an ending.
Well, Copeland had the size advantage. Badunga coming over from the weak side. I don't know why Van Allen would crash in right there, bringing Badunga to Copeland. If anything, clear out. Williams did get an open look at it, but I don't like these scenarios where teams are down 1 and they take a 3 and try to get a 2 over the top.
Council just missed the front end, and he misses another. NC State will take a timeout. Council is 1 for 4 at the line, and the Wolfpack has the ball down 1 with 2.6 to go.
I know we're making improvements in the game of college basketball. Obviously, we're allowing the continuation that is more like the NBA. You know, we can adjust the shot clock, which we need to do over time. But one of the rules I would really like to see implemented is when you get a timeout situation like this, advance the ball to half court. Like, that's what the NBA does. Advance the ball to half court. At least give the opposing team an opportunity there.
You think NC State will try to advance the ball here and then use its third timeout because they have 2 remaining?
That's what I would try to do. I mean, because if not, you're giving a full length of the court pass for a heave unless you catch the defense on their toes. But defenses are prepared for this. I would try to get some type of play where you catch the ball around half and maybe you have a shot with 1.9 or 2 seconds left to go. A literal catch and timeout.
Kansas State does not have a foul to give. They've committed 6. So any non-shooting foul would put NC State at the line. Bill Self firing up his team in the huddle. Again, Darren Peterson checked out of this game with about 2 minutes to go at the end of the second half, dealing with, it appears, a leg issue. He's had a hamstring issue that knocked him out for a month, so they've had to do it without Peterson for 7 games this year. They've played without Peterson for all of overtime today. Copeland's going to inbound it. NC State has 2 timeouts remaining. Copeland gets it to Abel across half court. There's the timeout with a second to go. We'll see if the officials go to the monitor and review the clock. At the moment, it's going to be NC State with 1 second, down 1 point.
Well, you give Kansas a lot of credit there. They force the Wolfpack to catch the ball running back towards their own basket, right, which wasted a little bit more time on the clock. And now you have a second for a catch and shoot.
Maybe you could add a couple of ticks to the clock there, maybe around 1.2 when Abel took the timeout. That's what the officials are determining. Well, we are 1 second plus maybe away from getting you to Lexington. Dave O'Brien, Dick Vitale, and Charles Barkley together for Indiana and Kentucky. You got number 1 Arizona in Birmingham against Alabama. After that, you've got Gonzaga and UCLA, 2 top 25 games. There's so much more great college basketball tonight, but this has been one of the games of the day, if not the game of the day, Jay Williams. Kansas, without Darren Peterson, has showed its toughness, its grit, its defense, and its heart, and they're 1 second away from closing out a road win, but NC State can have the final shot.
Not only has it been the game of the day, I think Melvin Council Jr. has been the player of the day thus far. Now, we still have a lot of incredible basketball left to watch, but the offensive performance he's put on has been absolutely incredible to watch. And now you think about end of game situation, 1 second is enough for a catch and shoot scenario. You would think that the ball will be in the hands of either Copeland or Williams for this last shot, but where they catch it will be critical. And then on the other end, if you're Kansas, you're like, hey, look, we have to remain disciplined defensively. Do not lean over, stay parallel, contest everything, stay down, and let's force him into a tough shot.
Paul Mbia right there, big number 34, is going to come in and guard the inbound 7-foot freshman. There's an extra 1/10 of a second on the clock. It's 1.1. Williams has 17. Copeland has 19, but Copeland's going to inbound. Williams, Lubin, Holloman, Copeland, and over in the corner it's Abel.
You might see a double pin down for Abel and then a flare screen by Lubin. See a pass over the top. Try to get the ball to D. Will.
NC State has a timeout left if they have trouble getting it in. Copeland gets it in. Williams for the win. It's no good. Kansas survives by 1 measly point. Melvin Council Jr. has the game of his life. He scores 36, and the Jayhawks knock off NC State on the road 77-76. Amazing stuff here for Jay Williams and our crew. I'm Kevin Brown. I cannot believe I'm about to say this sentence. Let's send you to Dave O'Brien, Dick Vitale, and Charles Barkley.